It's Monday. It's morning.
Yeah, this will come.
Phil. Well, everyone, let me preface this that, this has been a hard week here at Sling Dingers.
I need to clear the air.
Yes, please do, Phil.
Phil, we've had quite the week, to put it mildly. For the listener who don't know, who has not read our update, over the weekend, I went to the Sling and Dingers lounge, and I went to get my lunch, and my sandwich was gone. And I saw Phil putting his little gribbly grobblers all over my treats.
He was guzzling your gibbly gobblers.
My green meat gobblers were guzzling.
And they shouldn't have been, Phil. What you did was messed up, and it's delayed the podcast.
It is the only reason.
It's the only reason the podcast didn't get to come out on Monday, and we are now a day behind. And we can all blame Phil, in my humble opinion.
Now, Darcy. Now, we've come together. I thought we solved this. I thought we had a little water under the bridge situation.
I thought so, too.
Well, Phil, I'm still a little peeved. We did come to a resolution, quote unquote, and the resolution was that he was going to buy me the biggest hot dog he's ever seen.
That's a big Lizzie.
He said, well, you tell him what you said, Phil.
There's the biggest glizzy in the whole state of Massachusetts.
And so he guaranteed me the biggest glizzy in the whole state of Massachusetts. So we're still
the big glizzy, dude.
We're still kind of rocky while I wait for this glizzy to arrive, but
is it going to be a giant Fenway Frank?
Oh, the biggest Fenway Frank ever seen.
So it's the biggest Fenway Frank you've ever seen? says Phil.
I think we're coming together. We're going to be stronger on the other side of this.
I think, I like that spin on things. I think that's a good way to look at it. Phil, I just don't eat my lunch, and we'll all be good.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay.
Wait, Phil, can you read?
I don't know how to read.
Oh, okay. To be fair, on the job application, it doesn't ask that specifically.
It does, yeah. We do not say. We said bachelors in
You're gonna offend someone.
I know. I'm like, wait, shit. What direction do I go? Bachelors in civic pooping.
Ooh, all the civic pooping master's degrees out there are gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, hey, come on. I spent 4 years. I passed the bar exam. I'm a ghost. For some reason.
Yeah, so if you're a ghost civic pooper who practices law because you passed the bar exam, we're sorry if that joke offends you, but we're just edgy.
Yeah, sorry, we're edgy like that.
Yeah, I apologize too.
So Phil's here for another week. We're here for another week. We're ready to finally record now that the water has been put under said bridge.
I'm a big fan of season 3 so far.
Yeah, threes and seasons is a good. It's been pretty good so far. I think
threesome. You're about to say threesome with Scones, Darcy, and Phil.
Hey, nothing like an SDP for season 3. That's not technically a bad acronym.
Oh, sure. Just enter it on Google. I'm sure it'll come up totally fine.
Hey guys, welcome to Monday Morning with Cops, season 3, episode Deuce.
Quattro. Quattro.
And it's another week. Scones, Darcy, and Phil here. And we're talking spooky again. We always talk spooky, but we're doing it again.
Well, listen, people were wondering, do they still have it?
Do they still got it?
Do they still got it?
Boy, I hope so.
Have they thrown in the towel to the last pot on the left, folks? No, we haven't.
You're scaring Phil.
Calm down.
You're scaring him.
Sorry, Phil.
No, we haven't. Phil, I'm sorry to scare you. He is shaken to his core.
He is. He's physically shaking as well.
To his tiny Phil heart. Phil's kind of the island of misfit toys of people.
He really is.
We've always said that, and he doesn't know how to read, so...
It was at the top of his resume, actually.
Yeah, it said Phil is an acronym for the island of misfit toys.
Again, he can't read, folks.
So yeah, his English was not what we hired him for. We hired him for his gusto, you know,
His moxie.
his can-do attitude. And his dad said he'd give us a bunch of money if we gave him a job. So
Phil, your dad's been a real big part of this team.
I love you, Joe Biden, my father.
Your dad's Joe Biden?
We've made a new connection here, everybody.
Wow,
Apparently,
I thought I was going to start doing canon at the start of episodes, but now this is unreal.
Oh, say, can you see?
Clearly very patriotic.
Super patriotic. He's American flag tattoos head to foot. This week, guys, I'm going to be bringing you a hashtag spooky Dukerson, and it's a hotly requested topic, if I do say so myself.
Is it really?
Oh, it really is. We've had multiple people write in about this, and this is actually something I've wanted to do for a while as well. Just never got around to it for various reasons.
Yeah, so fuck those listeners. We're going to do it anyway, is what you're saying.
Well, actually, it's funny because like multiple people reached out like 2 weeks ago, and everyone was like, yo, you got to talk about this shit. I was like, oh, baby, I know it.
Oh, baby, a triple.
Oh, baby, a triple.
Oh, I love that video.
What we're talking about, Scones, this week on
What are
Monday
we
Morning
talking
Macabre
about?
is the Skinwalker.
Ew.
Skirt.
Shh. Yay.
Yay.
Skirt.
Band, play that intro, baby. All right, Scones, Skinwalkers.
God, the band's so talented.
Yep. The Skinwalkers are the people we love to hate, you know?
Sure do.
Always said that about Skinwalkers. Scones, what's your favorite Skinwalker anecdote? I'm sure you've got plenty.
Ooh. Mine's that they don't need sunscreen.
I don't know if that's an anecdote as much as like a guess
Fun
at
fact?
a fact. Yeah. But I have an article here from a certain news source that we have used in the past. Let's just say it's pretty interesting.
I think I know what it is.
What do you think it is, Scony?
Good housekeeping.
Yup, it's good housekeeping. No, it's all that's interesting.
All that's good housekeeping.
All that's good housekeeping.com /Atlas Obscura. And this article is entitled Meet the Navajo Skinwalker, the demonic shapeshifter that Native Americans won't mention by name.
Wow, that's so scary. I actually don't know anything about this, and it sounds horrible. Wait.
Uh-oh. Gabagool?
No, I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
They talk about, so have you seen the show, Reservation Dogs?
Mike's super short show. What? Reservation
Dogs? Yes, it's a very good show on FX, and it's about
Reservation Dogs.
Right, like four teenage kids growing up on a Native American reservation in Oklahoma, and part of it's kind of looking at like the different like legends and lore of like the natives in that area, and like there's a bunch of like monsters that are in the woods and they're spooky, but I don't know if
Skinwalkers.
I don't think any of them were
it's
specific.
You might have heard of Wendigo. It's a very Wendigos and Skinwalkers are sometimes used interchangeably.
Hey, listen, one of the key parts of a party is knowing when to go.
Hey!
Oh, mask.
Thank you.
Around, baby.
Roses, applause.
Ding, 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 ding. You got the ding, 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 ding from Phil.
Phil, you got a real big bell over there you're ringing.
Ding, ding, ding. You want to hear me do a motorcycle noise?
Yes, please. It's so talented. I can't believe we almost...
Such a talented young man.
I can't believe we did this show without him.
The shape-shifting Skinwalker takes on various forms across tribes, but most agree on what it looks like. A deformed, animalistic body, marred face, and blazing orange eyes.
That's the scariest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That's a spooky boy.
That's so much scarier than just like, he had lots of fur.
Yeah, right? Not just like a hairy guy. He has some real messed up features.
It's literally like a person that's the scariest version of a person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like how in the Blair Witch Project, the scariest part about the witch was that she had like fur. I don't know why, but like
on,
that
like, her
freaked
arms.
me out. Yeah, I don't know what about that, but anyway.
So the scariest thing about that movie for me was that when I saw it, I was like in 8th grade.
Yeah, that's prime.
It was like I heard this, I don't know, I think it's a rumor because it has to be a rumor, but someone said like in multiple shots you can see her in the background in the trees.
Oh yeah, I think that's a rumor.
So
I've heard that
scary,
too, but
when
it's a
you're
very
like,
scary thought.
When every shot's going at full speed and you're like, oh, was that her? I think that was her.
Was that her or was that a Yukon sap? That's a type of tree.
I think it's a type of potato too.
No, that's a Yukon Cornelius.
Oh.
Yes, God.
Sorry, guys.
Shout out to Yukon Golds. The legend of the shape-shifting entity known as the Skinwalker has largely been relegated to hoax status. Kind of like my sex life.
Whoa!
Ding,
Don't
ding,
get
ding.
old, kids.
Phil, hit that bell, baby.
Those are the kind of jokes you legally have to make once you get married.
Yeah, exactly. That's the rules. If you're in a marriage, you gotta say those things. The old ball and chain, am I right?
That's one of the other ones.
Yep. So I've met my quota today. Anyway, after all, it is difficult to believe that a humanoid figure has been transforming into a four-legged animal and terrorizing families in the American Southwest. While unscientific, the Navajo Skinwalker does have deep roots in Native American lore. This week on Reservoir Dogs. Not Reservoir Dogs. Reservation Dogs? What was it called?
Yeah, which is a play on Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah,
famous heist movie.
Got it. Mr. Purple or whatever.
No, his name's Tarantino, but keep going.
Nah, baby. The rest of America got its first real taste of the Navajo legend in 1996, when the Deseret News published an article titled "Frequent Flyers?" The story chronicled the Utah's family's traumatizing experience with the supposed creature that included cattle mutilations and disappearances, UFO sightings, and the appearance of crop circles. But the family's most distressing encounter occurred one night just 18 months after moving onto the ranch. Terry Sherman, the father of the family, was walking his dogs around the ranch late at night when he encountered a wolf. But this was no ordinary wolf. It was perhaps 3 times bigger than a normal one, had glowing red eyes, and stood unfazed by 3 close-range shots Sherman blasted into its hide. Blasted him.
And then he starts blasting.
Yes, so this is the well-known Skinwalker Ranch that you may have heard of, that they are describing. I'll continue. The Sherman family...
I think that's on Airbnb, isn't
it? Yeah, you can stay at the Skinwalker Ranch for $29.99.
Yeah, and George Lucas lives there. I've heard of it.
Yeah. The Sherman family weren't the only ones to be traumatized on the property. After they moved out, several new owners experienced eerily similar encounters with these creatures, and today, the ranch has become a hub of paranormal research that's aptly renamed Skinwalker Ranch.
So wait, what do the Skinwalkers look like exactly? Because I was picturing like a
feral
person with orange
human
eyes. Oh, okay.
Type look, like a
But that one was just a giant wolf
hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, the legend is that when you eat human flesh, you start to turn into like this half human, half like a feral human monster thing.
Okay, I was picturing like a dude, like a guy from Florida who mixed ketamine with bath salts.
Dude, honestly, if you told me half of Florida were Wendigos, I'd be like, this makes sense. It adds up.
It's all at nighttime. It all adds up.
Hey, that's the new motto for Monday Morning Macabre.
At nighttime, it all adds up. So sorry if this episode, if we've offended people who go out at night in Florida. And what was the other thing? Like law practicing
civic poopers?
Civic poopers.
Who also have passed the bar exam and have a law degree.
Yes.
While paranormal investigators probe the property with novel inventions, what they seek has a history that is centuries old. This is the legend of the Navajo Skinwalker. So, what is a skinwalker? Scones, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, God, I've been wondering.
As the Navajo English Dictionary explains...
As Navajo Urban Dictionary says.
It says, what's bussin' is a skinwalker...
Skinwalkers when you mix alcohol... No.
Yeah, it's when you mix dead skin with fucking cough
with
syrup.
Tequila and like a gravity bong. That's what Urban Dictionary's like. If you haven't been, if you haven't been on it, that's what it's like.
Pretty accurate. The Skinwalker has been translated from the Navajo Yinaldlushi.
Did you look at the pronunciation or?
No, that was my best guess.
All right.
This literally means, by means of it, it goes on all fours. And the Yinaldlushi is merely one of the many varieties of skinwalkers called Aunt Ginny. I'm doing my best here.
Do you say Aunt Ginny?
Aunt Ginny. Ginny Weasley is what the skinwalkers are usually referred to, a variety of. The Pueblo people, Apache and Hopi, also have their own legends involving the skinwalker. Some traditions believe that skinwalkers are born of a benevolent medicine man who abuses indigenous magic for evil.
That's a pretty cool story.
Yep. The medicine man is then given mythical powers of evil that vary from tradition to tradition. But the power all traditions mention is the ability to turn into or possess an animal or person. Other traditions believe a man, woman, or child can become a skinwalker should they commit any kind of deep-seated taboo. The skinwalkers are described as being mostly animalistic physically, even when they are in human form. They are reportedly near impossible to kill except with a bullet or knife dipped in white ash, which is super fucking cool.
I'll take that trade. If I was a medicine man, just being fucking indestructible with, like, and can take over animals, that sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, it does sound pretty rad.
Deal.
Hashtag deal made, Shark Tank style. Mark, I'll take it.
That's the famous line.
That's the famous 100,000 for 10%. Mark, I'll take it.
You know what? I'm going to go
Shark
with the
Tank.
by far richest guy on the show, Mark.
Oh man, something's so sick.
Phil loves Shark Tank. Phil's a big Shark Tank fan.
Big Shark Tank. It's always on in the break room.
Scream.
Little more is known about the purported being, as the Navajo are staunchly reluctant to discuss it with outsiders, and often even amongst each other. Traditional
pretty wild.
Yeah, it's like a Voldemort of the Navajo people.
And that's like to this day, they still...
Yeah, they're like, fuck that.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm like, sheesh.
That's a cool example of like a very rich...
Yeah.
Like...
That's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, superstition is not the right word, but spicy meatball is.
But spicy meatball. Meatball?
Spicy meatball,
spicy
baby.
Meatball. Spicy, he might ball.
Ooh.
Get him on your rec basketball team.
I was going to say, I played Street V2.
Traditional belief portends that speaking about the malevolent beings is not only bad luck, but makes their appearance all the more likely.
Oh, so it's like Slenderman.
Yeah, exactly. Slenderman.
You joke, but I don't. I'm not saying it.
I ain't saying it. If I die tonight, I ain't gonna die today.
My favorite thing at the height of the Slenderman mania.
Yeah, Slendermania.
Was like when we in high school like looked up like all the lore behind it, and one of the top things we found was in order to prevent Slenderman, once he starts stalking you, he like does it for your whole life. But one of the things that might help is if you just carry around a $20 bill, because sometimes that's all he wants.
That's solid. I also, the thing about Slenderman is it's like, oh, you were made in 2012. Like, you're not that old.
He's not, but he was profoundly powerful in America.
This is true. Anyway, Native American writer and historian Adrienne Keene explained how J.K. Rowling's use of similar entities in her Harry Potter series affected indigenous people who believed in the Skinwalker.
Classic J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. J.K.'s rolling in her grave right now, more like it, am I right?
Notorious turf, J.K. Rowling.
What happens when Rowling pulls this in is we as Native people are now opened up to a barrage of questions about these beliefs and traditions, said Keene. But these are not things that need or should be discussed by outsiders. In 1996, a couple of outsiders were introduced to the legend after a series of inexplicable events occurred at their new ranch. Terry and Gwen Sherman first observed UFOs of varying sizes hovering above their property.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then 7 of their cows died or disappeared. One was reportedly found with a hole cut in the center of its left eyeball. Another had its rectum carved out.
Oh.
Yeah, that second one paid extra.
Season 3, baby.
Baby. The cattle the Shermans did find dead were both surrounded by an odd chemical smell. One was found dead in a clump of trees. The branches above appeared to have been cut off. One of the cows that vanished had left tracks in the snow that suddenly stopped. If it's snow,
that's
it's
pretty spooky.
Yeah, that's super spooky. Terry Sherman says, if it's snow, it's hard for a 1,200 or 1,400 pound animal to just walk off without leaving tracks or to stop and walk backwards completely and never miss their tracks. It was just gone. It was very bizarre. Perhaps most terrifying were the voices Terry Sherman heard while walking his dogs late one night. Sherman reported that the voices spoke in a language he didn't recognize. He estimated that they came from about 25 feet away, but he couldn't see a thing. His dog went berserk, barked, and ran back hastily to the house. After the Shermans sold their property, these incidents only continued. So this is like a rare instance where it's like, oh, we sold it and then nothing ever happened again. It's like, nah, you sold it. And then the next people were like, yeah, there's some crazy shit going on here. And so, yeah, Skinwalker Ranch is a super popular, like, kind of Bermuda Triangle in its own right, where just weird shit happens all the time.
Yeah, I heard they have a statue of C-3PO there.
Yeah, that's the weirdest part. That just appeared one night.
But I also, like, totally kind of get why. So if the Navajo, like, nation actually genuinely, like, believes this stuff and, like, really is, like, please don't talk about it, like, it puts people on edge and, like, is just bad and we don't like it, I can kind of see why they're pissed why one of the most popular authors in the world would decide to put it in a book.
Yeah. Although, yeah.
Like, stop, please, talking about it. Like, that's all we want to do is not talk about it.
And she's like, okay, yeah, but, like, he goes to Wizard High School. They're like, that's not, you're missing.
You're not listening at all.
So UFO enthusiast and Las Vegas realtor Robert Bigelow bought the ranch for $200,000 in 1996. He established the National Institute for Discovery.
Bobby Bigelow?
Yeah, Bobby Biggs established the National Institute for Discovery Science on the grounds and put up substantial surveillance. The goal was to assess what
That's
exactly...
actually so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. The goal was to assess what exactly had been going on there. On March 12, 1997, Bigelow's employee biochemist Dr. Colm Kelleher spotted a large humanoid figure perched in a tree.
Oh, fuck that. That's
right.
That's literally my nightmare. The worst case scenario for the Blair Witch Project for me.
Yep. It's all coming back together, baby. Detailed in his book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, the creature was 20 feet off the ground and about 50 feet away. Kelleher wrote, the large creature that lay motionless almost casually in the tree, the only indication of the beast's presence was the penetrating yellow light of the unblinking eyes as they stared fixedly back into the light.
Dude, what would you do if you saw that out in, like, your yard?
Dude, I don't have any kind of weapon or anything, so
I was going to say, I'd buy 8 guns. Like,
I would make my tree into a giant gun.
I would buy 8 guns and 10 knives and cover the knives in whatever you said to cover them in.
Yep. And white ash.
Yes.
And, well, Kelleher happened to have a gun, Scones, because he fired at the supposed Skinwalker with a rifle, but it fled. It left claw marks and imprints on the ground. Kelleher described the evidence as signs of a bird of prey, maybe a raptor print, but huge, and from the depth of the print, from a very heavy creature. This was only a few days after another unnerving incident. The ranch manager and his wife had just tagged a calf before their dog began acting strangely. They went to investigate 45 minutes later, and in the field in broad daylight found the calf and its body cavity empty.
Ooh.
Most people know if an 84-pound calf is killed, there is blood spread around it. It was as if all the blood had been removed in a very thorough way.
Oh.
The distressing activity continued well into the summer. 3 eyewitnesses saw a very large animal in a tree and also another large animal at the base of the tree, continued Kelleher. We had videotaped equipment, night vision equipment. We started hunting around the tree for the carcass, and there was no evidence whatsoever. Ultimately, Bigelow and his research team experienced over 100 incidents on the property, but couldn't amass the kind of evidence that scientific publications would accept with credulity.
Credulity?
Credulity.
Release the tapes, Bigelow.
Bigelow sold the ranch to a company called Adamantium Holdings for $4.5 million in 2016.
So you're saying words,
which is like comic book.
You're saying words, but I'm hearing that guy catches Skinwalkers on tape, government covers it up, shell corporation under CIA buys ranch.
Yeah, you got it. Scones.
Got it. Yep, I've seen this movie.
Yeah, but did you know that there's Wizard High School?
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
Now owned by Adamantium
J.K.
Holdings,
Rowling.
Skinwalker Ranch is patrolled by armed guards. Nevertheless, the research on Skinwalker Ranch is more sophisticated and secretive than ever. There are many stories about skinwalkers online in such forums as Reddit. These experiences commonly occur on Native American reservations and are allegedly only prevented by the blessings of medicine men. While it's difficult to discern just how truthful these accounts are, the descriptions are almost always the same. A four-legged beast with a disturbingly human, albeit marred, face and orange glowing red eyes. Those who claim to have seen these skinwalkers also said that they were fast and made hellish noise.
Hellish noise is a sick name for a band.
Yeet. Skinwalkers have crept back into popular culture through television shows such as HBO's The Outsider and the History Channel's upcoming The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch documentary series.
What? When was this written? Is that out?
This was written in 1911.
Wow.
When was it written? Let me find out, Scony. This was written was updated in 2021. It was written and updated in 2021.
Wow, so it's out right now. Yep, there's 2 seasons out.
Sheesh.
Well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
For horror-centric programming, a virtually demonic being that roams the countryside is rather perfect. Since taking over Skinwalker Ranch, Adamantium has installed equipment all over the property, including cameras, alarm systems, infrared, and more. Most alarming, however, are the accounts from company employees. According to Vice employee Thomas Winterton, who was one of the... Yeah, he was one of the several who randomly experienced skin inflammation and nausea after working on the grounds. Others had to be hospitalized with no clear medical diagnosis for their condition. This and the following account parallel some of the inexplicable events featured in sci-fi shows like The Outsider, as Winterton reported. I take my truck up the road, and as I start to get closer, I start to get really scared. Just this feeling that takes over. Then I hear this voice, as clear as you and me talking right now, that says, "Stop, turn around." I lean out the window
for the love of God.
I lean out the window with my spotlight and start searching around. Nothing. Despite this dreadful experience, Winterton reported that he isn't leaving Skinwalker Ranch anytime soon. It's like the ranch calls to you, you know? He said with a wry smile. And that, Scones, is the Skinwalker Ranch and the Skinwalker legend of the Navajos.
That's a pretty cool and pretty horrifying legend.
Yeah, it's a spooky one. And it's all the trappings of a good creepy tale. You got a spooky unknown monster thing, you've got UFOs, you've got cows. You got them all. You got all the things.
Yeah, I like the cow that got like basically pickpocketed, but instead of its wallet, it was all of its organs.
Yeah. And then no blood was left behind.
Yeah, pretty spooky.
Weird.
And J.K. Rowling, like,
guys. What a riveting episode.
J.K. Rowling, just stop ruining stuff. Stop, like,
thanks, J.K. You got all the money. You just chill, dog.
You made
Just
Harry
chill,
Potter.
dog.
It's fine.
Yeah, you did it. You won.
win,
Everyone was
okay?
racing to write Harry Potter, and you did it. So congrats.
I
Stop
was
rubbing
this
it in.
close, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude. I had Slammy Peters.
You had Slammy Peters?
Dude, I wrote Slammy Peters in the big conch shell, and I was that close.
That close, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, pre-order Slammy Peters in the big conch shell at any Barnes & Noble bookstore near you.
Another fanfic reading?
If we're only so lucky. And If you guys want to get merch or join the Patreon for bonus content, you can do so from our website, mondaymorningmacabre.com. Check out Instagram, Monday Morning Macabre, Twitter, MMMacabrePod, and all the other ways. Reach out to us with your suggestions. Shout out to everyone who mentioned Skinwalkers. I know this is an episode that we're all jonesing for, so I'm glad we could make it happen. Scones, do you want to say anything?
I'm just happy that we've come back together as a podcast. It was scary there for a second.
Yeah, I think we made it through.
I really felt like I got caught in the middle of something that I didn't fully understand.
Phil, what are you eating? Phil, I swear to God, if that is my sandwich.
God, Phil, no.
Phil?
Phil, is that a patented Darcy BLT?
That's a BLT, a butt-loving tutor.
Phil, you know not to eat his butt-loving tutor on rye, bro.
Bro, it's my butt-loving tutor on rye, Phil. Well, gang, until next week, have a good Monday, I guess.
Have a good Tuesday.
Bye.
Boy.